Look, so we've reached this silent epidemic, right, where 99% of men, based on what I've seen, are lonely and single, right? They're lonely, they're single, they have nobody, no family, no anybody. And you might be one of those men. And why am I moving the camera around finally? Because some of you really think this is a green screen. This isn't a green screen, this is literally my actual house. So fuck all you guys that think that this is a green screen. You can't fathom why a man would be able to live in a place like this. That's crazy. But anyway, back to regular scheduled programming. So 99% of men are lonely, and I'm gonna give you a few reasons why this is the case. So the first reason is because most men are not realizing that they're born with zero value. Like you're literally, it takes years. It took me almost 2 decades to realize that literally I was born with zero value. Nobody cared about who I was, what I was doing, no matter when I walked into a room, no matter anything. Nobody cared. And it hurt. It was very painful. And it's probably painful to you too, but I'll tell you this, I care about you, which is why I make these videos. I genuinely care about your mental health. I care about how you move in this life, how you become successful, how do you start to enjoy the fruits of life based on the work that you're putting in, because 9 times out of 10, you are putting in the work, right? You are actually trying your hardest to be able to do what you have to do. But it also depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on what you're putting your effort towards. See, men who are lonely don't realize that the value that they provide in society is based on what they're going to do to help other people improve, right? That's how you're going to win over the hearts of a lot of people. I don't believe in the rhetoric of, oh, forget everybody, nobody cares about me. And they call it the black pill, where you just accept it and that's it. I didn't accept it. See, when I was growing up, I didn't accept the fact that I was lonely. I didn't accept the fact that nobody wanted me to be around them, that I didn't have a friend group. People just did not care that I existed when I walked into a room. That's the reality. That's why, you know, there was a story of a woman who transitioned into a man and basically offed herself because she realized how lonely men were. She realized how invisible she became when she became a man, right? Like invisible. You don't exist. Every day we walk through life and we don't have some sort of a presence. We don't have some sort of an it about us. We don't exist. And it's detrimental to the way that we think, because we then believe that we're literally not supposed to be living in this life. That's why male suicide rates are at an all-time high, right? They want us to be lonely. They want us to not be together, to not feel like we have camaraderie, because that is how we can't fight against the systems that are put in place to keep us down, especially as military-aged men, right? So for you, the biggest thing is you have to, one, internalize that you have zero value inherently. Women are born with value and they have to retain it, right? They have to retain it. It will go down. Men are born with zero value and you need to increase it through your status, through how you're perceived in society, through the work that you do, the impact that you make. And that's the first thing. If you want to actually elevate your status, you need to build a social presence. You need to start getting on YouTube, documenting what you've done, helping other people, making an impact, giving people words of wisdom. If you need help with that, again, link is in the description. Sign up to my school that I have. Basically, it's a group coaching system where you can come in and you can start working with other men as well, so you don't feel like you're alone in the journey. You can build your personal brand on YouTube and you can monetize that so that you can be free forever. You can start making 10K a month, 20K a month, whatever that looks like. I started making 20K a month when I made this happen for me on YouTube, and you can do the same. So again, link is in the description. Tap in with me and be really intentional with the work that you want to put in. It's not going to be super cheap, I promise you, but it's going to change your life. It's changing the lives of the men who are in that group right now, and you can do the same. So back to regular scheduled programming yet again. The next thing you have to realize is you need to start accepting the fact that you are alone, and you have to start to love yourself. You need to start actually enjoying yourself in the process. You have to start seeing yourself as somebody who is developing into a person who is formidable, a person who people will start to appreciate as you start to generate more value around the world, or more value in yourself. See, too many of you, and I was like this as well, where you wouldn't even want to be alone. You don't even like being alone by yourself. So how do you expect for other people to like being around you if you cannot accept the fact that you are a man and you love yourself? You need to start loving yourself. That is how other people will love you. See, the reality is there's something called momentum, right? In momentum, there has to be an initial push from zero. There has to be an inertia. There has to be a push from zero so that you can start to gain the momentum to start swinging. It's like a pendulum, right? Most of you right now, the reason why you're lonely, you're here and you haven't budged. You haven't really, and there's a lot of force. People don't understand how much force it takes to even push slightly forward so you can start to swing a little bit and to consistently push it to where you can start swinging more and more. And what does that swing look like? You're lonely. No girl pays attention to you. No girl even knows you exist. No group believes that you exist. You stay here and you stay in the same state. But when you start putting in the actions that start working on yourself, you start to love yourself a lot. You start to love the isolation that you're in at that moment. You start to see all of the benefits, all of the positivity that you have, right? You start to move. That pendulum starts to swing, and then you start to improve. You start to improve your physique. You start to get under 15% body fat to where you're jacked, right? Then the momentum starts to swing even more. People start to notice a transformation. Everyone notices a transformation, regardless of if you're a man or a woman. The visual transformations will be seen, and you will start to have that pendulum swing even more, right? So as that momentum starts to swing, you have to keep it, which means you need to keep going. You need to keep making progress. You need to keep making more money. Build the personal brand. Show people that you are improving. Show people that you have results so they want to work with you so you can make more money. Right now, the 9-to-5 route is dying. It is almost dead. You are not going to survive in the economy right now if you do not have something that you are working on that is going to generate you money on demand. So you need to create that avenue, whether it's trading, whether it's fitness coaching, whatever kind of coaching, whether it's selling digital products, create something and grind on e-com store, grind on it so that you can keep pushing that momentum forward. The more you push that momentum forward, the more people will start to notice, the more people will start to want to be around you. I experienced that. As I got older, as I started making more progress in life, as people started seeing my transformation in real time, I started to get people hitting me up on social media, right? They started hitting me, and that's the same that can happen to you. As you're documenting your process, you may not be where you want to be yet, but as people are seeing the progress, people want to speak to you. You will start to make friends. See, social media is a dangerous weapon that's been created to keep you locked into where you're at. But you can transform from a consumer to a producer and start to produce inspiration, start to produce value to where people will start to gravitate towards you, and you can build the network that you want globally. I have a global network now, and you can have the same. But again, keep pushing on that momentum swing. But in that point where most of you are at right now, 99% of you are still stuck. You have to just commit actions, right? Any action, there's going to be a reaction. That's literally the law of life. So you have to start creating actions that will then give you the effect of that momentum, which will then push you even more. And you cannot stop. See, a lot of us, and I've done this before in the past, another thing you do as you gain that momentum, do not stop. Do not rest until you've gotten exactly what you want. Do not rest until you've swung so much that nothing can stop you. Nothing can change that momentum. You will have men around you that are supporting you. You will have women around you that want you, because the more you chase success, the more you chase what you want, women will chase you. See, when you're stuck here and you're chasing women, you don't have any momentum because they're not going to pay attention to you because you have nothing going for you. So start to internalize that, start to understand how this works, and start to create that momentum so people will be able to see you swing and they'll want to jump on and swing with you. Everyone wants to swing with you when you have momentum. Nobody wants to swing with you when you're stuck here. And that's okay, because you're swinging with yourself. You have yourself. If you believe in God, you have God. Even your family won't want to swing with you. Your family might even try to keep you stuck because they don't know what's good for you. They don't understand what you're going through. I understand what you're going through. I understand that when I started hiring mentors, when I started getting into groups, I started to get that urge to continue to push forward. I started to feel like I was a part of something. I started to feel like things were working. And as I started to feel like things were working, things worked even more. As I started to see other people succeed in what I wanted to do, I started to get even more momentum. And as I built my network, I feel like I am unstoppable. And I want every single man who's watching this to feel exactly the same. See, you're watching me right now every single day. I'm your friend. I'm your only friend right now. And you can be the friend of so many other men. See, my goal is to create an army on the internet that is inspired. I want the inspiration of men to be basically propelled forward. I want it to be scaled because I want 1 million people who have the same mindset as me helping other people get out of their rut to then be able to succeed in life, to be able to have the success with women, success with money, success with their physique. I want success, right? I really want success. I really, really want you guys to have that feeling that you are worth something, because you are. Society has told you that you haven't, and they've masked it as, oh, well, you know, men's mental health. We don't need a month. We need people who are actually who we want to become, helping us in that process. And YouTube is the vehicle that we've been using to consume content to help us. Now it's time for you to stop consuming, or even just lower your consumption and start to produce. Because that is exactly what's gonna free you. That's exactly what's gonna get you out of loneliness. See, I started YouTube when honestly, I was at one of my lowest peaks in life. I was very lonely. I got out of a relationship that wasn't the greatest for me either. I was very happy about that. But I started to, you know, stop the pendulum. The pendulum stopped swinging. I felt alone. Nobody was calling me. Nobody's gonna call you when you're down in the depths of hell and you're trying to climb out. No one's gonna call you. I had maybe 2 select friends who would call me consistently to make sure that I was good. Three friends. Other than that, nobody cared. Nobody on the internet knew who I was. Nobody on the internet cared who I was until I started making a ripple, until I really applied mental force to keep pushing through the algorithm, to create the plan, to create the structure that I needed to be who I am today, to have the impact that I have. I kept chiseling away at the body. Even when I felt like I was good enough, I still kept going because that gave me the mental fortitude to keep pushing forward. When I went in public, everybody was interested in who I was because I looked different. That's why I say get jacked, because it's very important. Men will respect you when you're jacked because it shows self-control. It shows that you're somebody who's actually, that's the first thing that you can do and have an accomplishment on without having to push massively through. If you're stuck here, go to the gym, start to build the body. Document the process on social media because that's a compounding effect. It's only gonna compound your results. That's what's gonna help you with loneliness. Loneliness, the cure to loneliness is understanding who you are, loving yourself, and ultimately making the progress and documenting the progress online and being proud of the creation that you're making. We're all creators. We were all meant to create. And the only way we can solve this loneliness epidemic is if all of us are creating to motivate each other, to educate each other, to lift each other up when it comes to making more money, to lift each other up when it comes to our physique, to lift each other up when it comes to the mindset, the motivation, the inspiration. That's the only way this loneliness epidemic is going to be solved. See, I've been trying to look for what injustice really means a lot to me. What do I internalize? And loneliness was the first thing. I put a poll in and everybody said loneliness. Over 60% of the people said loneliness. And it hit home for me. I almost shed a tear because it was true. When I was alone, I felt like I should not be here. I felt like I didn't need to be on this planet. And nobody cared. And the reality is no one's gonna care about you until you care about yourself enough to start making progress, to start making a ripple in the universe, to start speaking out loud, to start speaking of what you truly believe in, to start going against the norm. See, everything is funneled into the herd mentality. Everybody, all men are funneled into this herd mentality. Why? Because it allows for you to stay average like everybody else, to just mediate through life and never be exceptional. All men are lonely because they're not striving for excellence. They're not striving for, they don't have the urge, they don't have the willpower to do it. And this video should give you the push that you need to start doing what you need to do, to start being the creator. I'm telling you, the internet is the easiest place to start creating value for yourself and for other people. It's the easy, and when you create value, money will come, right? If poverty is your biggest issue, create value. That's the biggest thing. If you have a little bit of money, invest in a way that you can learn how to create value faster so that you can escape, so that you can reach escape velocity. Because a lot of us, see, when you swing the pendulum like this, when the pendulum's going like this, you've reached escape velocity. I finally reached escape velocity. It took me two and a half decades to finally realize how to escape velocity, to reach escape velocity, right? right? And what does that mean for those of you that don't know? Escape velocity basically means that you're swinging, right? And you're going fast, you're escaping, right? The momentum that you need to escape whatever situation that you're in. There needs to be sheer, pure, hard momentum to escape where you are. Hard work. For me, it's sales calls. It's talking to people. It's getting more people involved in my ecosystem, to invest in my ecosystem so that they can improve themselves. That's my work. To create videos like this that reach hundreds of thousands of people at a time. To make impact. My job is to make impact, which is value. And money always comes with value, of course. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm teaching you how to actually create self-fulfilling prophecies for yourself. What is a self-fulfilling prophecy? That means that it's inevitable for you to be successful if you're helping other people be successful in some form, in some shape or form, right? And I'm telling you, the best medium right now is YouTube, because there's no algorithm is trying to hold you back here. It's not like Instagram. Instagram has an algorithm that for some reason doesn't work for a lot of people. I know how to crack the algorithm. I don't care for that, because YouTube is where I like to give information. I can make long videos like this, and I have men who genuinely watch it, who genuinely feel like they are actually getting an impact, not some 6-7 second short or reel that you watch for a couple seconds that makes you feel just a little good, and then you go back to watching another one. Then you watch another one, you hit the spiral. You can finish watching this video and take action. Book a call with me, look at it, or join the group. Start to make progress, start to feel better about yourself. And that's the thing with women. Women love men who are making impact. Women love leaders. As you're growing, as you're building yourself and you're showing other men how to do the same, you will become a leader. You will have women, when you ask them what you do, oh, I help men become the best versions of themselves, and I'm on YouTube, and they look you up, they're like, whoa. Yes, it's a status play for sure. But the status play is what you have to play the game of life. A lot of the peons and the nerds in the comment, well, life is so hard. I don't know what you're talking about. Building a personal brand isn't real. Like, I can't crack the code on YouTube. I can't make more money. Life is unfair. Yeah, it's gonna stay like that because you don't want to play the game. I didn't want to play the game for years. I didn't want to play the game of content like the way that I'm doing now for years. And I'm glad I decided to, because it's definitely reaped the benefits that I needed. And it's reaping the benefits for others. I get messages every single day from men saying that I've literally saved their life. I've changed their life. Their whole life has flipped upside down. They finally bought this expensive apartment that they've always been looking for. They finally bought this car using the advice that I've given them. You know how great that feels? I can never be lonely. And I've attracted one of the greatest women, in my opinion, on planet Earth for me because of that. Right? So you have to start to understand that to escape loneliness, you need to start getting radical action in your life. You need to start making radical progress and documenting that progress so people know that you exist. Prove to people that you actually exist and that you are a valuable person. If you want to sit there and get on the keyboard and hate in the comments and say, well, it's not about other people. I don't care about other people, Mark. I care about me. Yeah, care about yourself enough to understand that life is not fair and that status is important and that you need to start developing status in the society, because there will get to a point where the average man is going to be below average. There's not going to be a middle anymore. There's only going to be exceptional men who have status, money, power, and there's going to be men who have none of those and they remain where they're at, and the space for momentum is going to drop. So you need to start making the decisions today. Share this with a friend who needs this, who's lonely, right? Rewatch this many times for yourself. I appreciate you guys. More of these videos are gonna come out because I finally understand what the problem is. It's loneliness. It's loneliness in relationships, it's loneliness in yourself, it's loneliness with your social circle. You don't have an elite group of men to be able to actually build with. That's all gonna change. I'm gonna build the solutions for that, all right? So I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna catch you on the next video.